Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Mercado Libre. This was a stock analysis request from one of our members, and on this chart we have a rather difficult structure, so there might be some potential here, but it's not going to be given to us freely. We will need to identify within a smaller time frame the more probable structures that would allow us to look with better probabilities for a potential accumulation area. But for context, on the large time frame, we have two main scenarios. So either we are looking at a larger ABC structure here in white, where we would be looking even at the potential top to be in place. This implies quite substantial risk, which is why unless we identify a more clear pattern within a smaller time frame, looking for a position within this area might be even detrimental. Now, even within this interpretation, I would probably prefer an extension of this wave 5 to the upside, where I would consider this to be a wave A up, a wave B could be coming, and a wave C could take us to even higher prices. Now, even here, the wave A could extend itself, it could form a 5-wave pattern, that would be no issue at all, and in fact that is what we are tracking within our other interpretation, which we will get to in a moment. But for this pattern, for context, I'm tracking an ending diagonal within this wave C. Not a beautiful structure at all, as within the wave B, we didn't form a clear retracement. In either position where I would attempt to place an area of support for a wave B, we wouldn't have reached it, and we have extended in a quite direct fashion to higher prices, which is going to make this structure much less reliable in general. Now, in this movement to the upside, I am still looking for this potential wave 5 extension, as I was saying, in the idea of an ABC pattern. For this interpretation, I would be watching the area of support down to the 78.6% retracement around the $817, yeah? That is maybe a bit higher, the 822, let's say. Doesn't matter exactly, it is around that area anyway, within 0.5% up or down. I might have not drawn it perfectly, but you get the idea of what we are looking to push to higher prices against. In the case of this structure, we didn't yet reach the area of support, and as I was saying, we will have the scenario of an extension which could work out even within this wave A, but at this point we would be looking to reach at least $1,500 before starting the reversal to the upside. Now, if we fail to hold the 78.6% retracement, it is a pretty strong warning that we will have a top in place already, that we will be looking to break even the $600 level, or at least get into its area, but clearly we will not be looking for direct extensions to higher prices within this structure, yeah? We will have very low probabilities of still succeeding in that interpretation, and it will not be a focus for us, let's say. Now, if you want to look for a position on this chart from an Elliott Wave perspective alone, it is going to be extremely difficult from a larger time frame perspective. If you're interested in a hedge against the US stocks, and considering the carry trade and the Japan situation might not be a bad idea, you might want to be patient a little bit longer with the decision for purchasing this stock. Not financial advice, just my opinion. And you might want to look into other asset classes as well, yeah, such as commodities. And when I say commodities, I'm talking about silver, about gold, which both have pretty interesting positions from a macro perspective as well. And we have just done a video today on silver, and I plan to do one on gold as well. Now, for the other perspective, for the yellow structure, we will be looking for a leading diagonal to take place within this area. And for it, we even have a couple of options, because I would consider in this case the wave 1 to have formed a top here, yeah, the entire push to the upside within this structure. And then this would be a very tiny wave 2, and we would be within the third wave to the upside, where we could see substantial extensions. Now, the only minimum expectation I would have for this to be a full count would be to form another high within this structure, as it is quite difficult and even unlikely, in my opinion, for this to be a 5-wave pattern already in place. So yeah, I would be looking ideally to form another high, and then we would be able to consider a top, but even that might instead form a larger 1-2 setup, which could become interesting, especially if we identify afterwards from a smaller time frame perspective an initial 5-wave move to the upside that would allow a 3-wave correction, and then potentially we would be looking at the wave 3 of a larger wave 3 to the upside that could actually have very nice potential. Now, this is the bullish scenario. I cannot guarantee it will occur, and it's probably the best expectation we could have on this chart without taking loads of hopium, to be honest. Now, for this idea, we would be expecting, we would like to reach the 138.2% extension of the wave 1 to be able to track this as somewhat of a reliable wave 3 and look for the wave 4 retracement. And if we form a top within the next wave to the upside as a wave 5, I would have my doubts. I would find it not necessarily the most likely case to reach this ideal target at the 5k level. And yeah, I would be able to still track an area of support for the wave 4, but the probabilities are already less likely within a leading diagonal. Well, it would be even worse within a leading diagonal where the wave 3 didn't manage to reach the ideal target. Now, without getting too much into that, we can have an area of support to track this continuation to higher prices within a wave 5. So yeah, the wave 4 area of support would sit here between the 23.6% retracement. So we are talking about the 2k level, yeah, around that area, nearly the 2k level, down to the $1,200 level, and we have gotten nearly to the 38.2% retracement. Once again, this is not going to be a high probability structure. I would still strongly prefer that we identify within a smaller time frame such a structure, but if you want to get access to our monthly top picks where we identify for you those high quality structures, you can check out our channel newsletter. The sign up link is in the description and it is completely free. And if you join by Sunday, you will even get our previous list that we have just sent out the previous Sunday, which is quite comprehensive in my opinion. You even get a link to the latest update we had at the time of creating the email for the respective stock, and you get some bonus information in the email of what we are looking for and yeah, some of the potential, some of the likelihood, the probabilities for it to actually succeed, and whether we are looking to already start buying some of these stocks, and some of them, yeah, are already in interesting positions, I will add. Now, within this pattern, we are looking for the wave 4 to ideally form within an ABC structure. So I wouldn't necessarily find it too likely to form the bottom in this wave 4 here at the 38.2% retracement, which would be the ideal target, but I wouldn't be surprised if we form a bit of a relief rally from this area, as we have additional structural support along this level as well, along this area. So I would ideally be looking for an ABC pattern, but even within the wave 4 of a diagonal pattern, we do sometimes notice that we miss that last leg to the downside. Now, in this movement, I would first look for this to be a potential A wave down, to have here a B wave up, and this to be our wave C to the downside. Within this wave C, we would as always look for a 5-wave pattern. Within this 5-wave pattern, I would consider that the wave 1 would be complete, the wave 2 would be complete, and yeah, I believe the wave 3 would be even required. It would be even ideal to extend a little bit lower, and in such a case, I would be watching to also ideally reach the 138.2% extension of the wave 1. That has not been done yet. It sits at the $1,600 level, and within this structure, if I am to consider an impulse within this wave 3, I could be looking even for an area of resistance, but honestly, what I find possibly more likely would be the idea of an ending diagonal to be forming within this overall wave C. So I will provide you the larger area of resistance where, yeah, we would be looking for the 61.8% retracement before assuming a more substantial bottom would be in place, before assuming that this structure to the downside would actually be already done. So I'm watching here the levels up to the $1,880 level. So yeah, that is my line that I would like to see broken for a sign that a bottom might be in place. In the end, I will be honest with you, the structure is highly complex within this area, multiple counts could fit in, and I would still like to see the break above the previous swing high at the $2,300 level for a more substantial signal that the bottom would be in place, but clearly that is extremely far from current prices. And other than that, only if I am to track a larger ending diagonal within this wave C, where a wave C would already be in place, where we wouldn't reach the ideal target for the wave 3, we would be watching the $1,930 level, and yet the break above that could be the earliest strong signal that a bottom would be in place. But once again, I would ideally see the extension within a wave 3. Breaking the previous area of resistance would be our first sign, well, this would be our first signal, let's say. Now, what I will do for this chart is look for the initial 5-wave move to the upside. I know it seems tempting, it has had a quite substantial correction, we are talking about nearly 40% from the top, but it just has a low quality structure. So if you're interested in this stock from a macro perspective and you're certain you want to buy at this point, be my guest. I will not give you financial advice or tell you what to do, but if you're interested in purchasing from an Elliott Wave perspective from a high probability reversal area, I do not have that available at the moment. I do not believe that is available at the moment, and I would consider it best to be patient as there are better opportunities. I do generally consider that being picky is a skill that we all need to learn, as there are so many options that can provide better returns, better clarity, and better opportunities. And for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and if you enjoy our content and you want to support us, you can check out our channel membership, where you even get access to a couple of cool perks, including additional content and priority to replies and stock coverages when there is a video slot open. And other than this, let me know what else you would like me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.